Oh yeah, now I'm the fastest thing alive. Curse you, Eggman! You know, if Sonic is the fastest thing alive, why does he even need that little Back to the Future hoverboard? I mean, you could see him outrun cop cars in his opening sequence, so how can he get any faster? When he dashes, he even puts the board into his magical pocket dimension and just spin dashes forwards. Why isn't he just treating this as a foot race? At least then I can control where on earth I'm going! Yes, it's another Sonic game that isn't part of the main Sonic line, but unlike when I reviewed Shadow the Hedgehog, this one does focus on the obnoxious blue blur. But don't worry, it still has plenty of forced, annoying dialogue and whatever Sega team decided would be cool that day. This time, it was hoverboards. Okay, they're right on that one. I want a hoverboard. My old roommate was working on turning a Back to the Future model hoverboard into a skateboard, and I can tell you, I'd have finally tried to learn to skateboard if I had had one of those. I mean, I tried back when I was younger. I was just awful at it, and with age has not come confidence on a piece of wood you need balance to maneuver. Game opens with Sonic and crew tracking what is revealed to be a Chaos Quartz. A team conveniently similar to the Sonic team breaks out of a building racing away on hoverboards that they call Extreme Gear. Obviously, hoverboard wouldn't be cool enough because it isn't extreme! Sonic catches up with them on foot, tries to block their path, and seems shocked when they don't stop and just go around him because he's taking up maybe a 20th of the road. Not only did he get ahead of them, but Knuckles, who has never had any extreme speed as far as I'm aware, got ahead of them too. Thus, he punches one of them off their boards. There's no way Sonic will catch up now, so he steals the board instead and almost instantly catches up to them. Because that's how acceleration and top speed works. He's knocked off and can't follow who stole the gem. Well, that's what you get for not holding on to them after the last time you collected all of them. Luckily, Eggman announces a racing competition where his prize racers are the Gem Thieves. The entrance fee, just a Chaos Emerald, nothing big. Sonic and crew can't figure out what Eggman is up to, which is immensely dense of them. This is roughly their 33rd game, and in over 90% of those games, Eggman is doing something to try and steal the Chaos Emeralds for some evil kind of plan. Why would they have no idea why he is gathering all of them under one roof that he controls? So you get on a hoverboard that Tails made and race against robot AIs and Team Babylon rogues. What's Babylon, the great biblical city of hanging plants, doing in this fictional world? Well, here, it was a floating city that invented extreme gear. Don't worry, Tails is eager to tell you without ever using pronouns. I've knocked on the story plenty, and there's nothing left to knock on because nothing actually happens between the races other than the team members getting taunted by Babylon rogues. So how are the controls? They're okay, I guess? Nothing feels tight or responsive, and that makes sense for hoverboards. They control exactly like what you would expect a hoverboard to control like, letting you do tricks in the air and curve around corners with the loose controls you would want. The levels, however, have been built around tight, responsive controls. The camera was built for nothing and deserves to be taken out back and told about the rabbits. It'll flip, it'll turn, it'll get caught behind bits of scenery, and you won't be able to see where you're going or what's coming up until you're on top of it. You pretty much have to memorize each track to get through it. The shortcuts are also a complete joke. There are 3 types, each corresponding to a type of teammate. Speed for Sonic, flight for Tails, and power for Knuckles. Power shortcuts are the most pointless, as anyone can activate the shortcut if they're going fast enough to just punch through. If you're in a race behind a power character, you don't even have to slow down to use the shortcut. It's already opened up for you, so using their shortcut is actually detrimental to power characters. Flight character shortcuts are the easiest to access and might seem like the best until the camera tries to get involved. It was clearly never intended to get so high above the level, so it whips around suddenly, and there's some courses where I'm still not clear where the next loop that you were supposed to be flying to was hiding. One tiny course correction in the wrong direction that you never pressed but the camera caused, and you'll fall off the course and lose all advantage the shortcut would have given you, and then some more. Speed shortcuts are the worst, though. You have to land perfectly on the shining part of the rail. Anywhere else and you will fall right through as if the rail never existed. This isn't too bad at first, since when you miss, you'll just land back on the track and keep going. But then, they start putting these shortcuts over empty space. You try to land on them and aren't pixel perfect, you're out of bounds and suddenly are in last place. But you reach a point where you actually have to take the speed shortcuts to win, because the computers take shortcuts and are faster than you. That's not how a shortcut works. If a shortcut is required to win a game, that's a mechanic. A shortcut is something that helps you win a game if you have the items or the knowledge to use it. But you lose the big final race of the contest because the Babylon rogues cheat. They get all the emeralds, they call the floating city of Babylon up from underground, because that's where you keep a floating city buried underground, and Eggman predictably steals the key and emeralds instantly. Who would have seen that coming? He flies away and we chase him in another race. The turns on this race all have to be made perfectly, and you have to use the shortcuts to win. Even when you get ahead of everyone else, they just catch up to you simply because they were behind. I played this race for almost 40 minutes straight, but unless you are perfect on everything, you can just forget it. So I gave up. I don't really care how it ends. I don't care about the meager amount of coins I was getting from finishing races. The boards don't actually differentiate enough to matter about buying them for multiplayer, and there's no characters that I really care to unlock for it, and I am pretty sure I can guess how the story ends. Dr. Eggman will be holding Rose captive. He'll get defeated when Sonic and Jet, the leader of the Rogues, teams up against him. The treasure will turn out to be something actually not that precious or special, but will hold emotional value to Jet, so Sonic will let him have it. They'll split up, hesitant allies, with some kind of ending jab between Jet and Sonic about who's faster. Now, let's hop over to Wikipedia and see what the ending is. The two arrive at Babylon Gardens and find Eggman, who is holding Amy hostage. Combining their powers, Jet and Sonic manage to retrieve the key and Amy. Jet uses the key to open a secret door leading the rogues inside the Babylon ruin. Team Sonic follows inside, where they then encounter a Babylon Guardian, a giant creature tasked with protecting the treasure. The two teams defeat the Guardian, causing a chest to appear. Eggman returns and demands they give him the treasure, but passes out in confusion upon discovering the treasure is only a carpet. Using the key, Jet manages to make the carpet fly, revealing that the carpet is an early form of extreme gear. Team Sonic and Babylon rogues go their separate ways, with Jet promising to race Sonic again one day.
I literally wrote that assumption of what the ending would be before I ever read that article. That goes beyond sad. That's depressing. That's pathetic. Did you even try? Yes, I've reviewed other games that have told their stories 100 times before. But when you do that kind of thing, you need to put something forward, something to catch the audience, something to keep them engaged, something to keep their interest. This game brought hoverboards, and they're not as cool as Sega teams seem to think they were.
Now, the multiplayer is actually a lot of fun. My siblings and I would play it a fair amount as kids, and that's because everyone is hampered by the controls and camera. We all are watching one screen, arguing with the announcer about what does and doesn't constitute a good landing from the tricks. We're all bemoaning missing the shortcut, or clapping each other on the back for actually hitting that speed shortcut. Everyone is getting throttled by the camera, so much like Smash Bros. Melee, it loses a lot of what really makes it feel unfair. Is it the best racing game? Heck no, Myth and I 100% completed Mario Kart Double Dash and we didn't even reach 10% on this game.
But is it fun to pop in every now and then and play a few rounds with friends? Yeah. Just have a better game ready for when those friends get sick of it after those few rounds.
There was a stage there. I think I'm just gonna stay down here now, actually.